Welcome to LVT-SHOWBIZ, the place to get the fastest, highest quality, most interesting updates and new perspectives on Chinese entertainment. Zhao Lusi surprised by Wu Lei's gaze, when love needs no words. Introduction: when a single look speaks louder than 1,000 words. In the dazzling world of showbiz, filled with spotlights, scandals, and shocking headlines, sometimes it's the quietest moments that set social media ablaze. Recently, one gentle gesture and a deep, lingering gaze from Wu Lei toward Zhao Lusi during a promotional event became the talk of the internet. What surprised the public wasn't poetic declarations or grand gestures, but rather the pure sincerity captured in a fleeting second, powerful enough to stir millions of hearts. What really happened between Zhao Lusi and Wu Lei? Was it perhaps a hidden affection accidentally revealed? Let's dive deep into the moment that shook the Chinese entertainment world, a moment that said more than words ever could. An ordinary event turned extraordinary. At first glance, the press conference for a new film project held in Beijing seemed like just another industry gathering. But it quickly became the center of media attention, not just for its star-studded lineup, but for one unforgettable moment between Zhao Lusi and Wu Lei. As the host invited the cast on stage to share their thoughts, the atmosphere remained formal. Zhao Lusi, radiant in a white dress, walked beside Wu Lei, who looked composed and elegant in a gray suit. Their contrasting yet complementary energies created a scene too captivating for the cameras to ignore. As a light breeze swept by, tousling Zhao Lusi's hair across her face, it seemed like nothing out of the ordinary. Yet without hesitation, Wu Lei gently leaned toward her and tucked the strands behind her ear. A simple gesture, not overly rehearsed or dramatic, but sincere, thoughtful, and intimate. Under the bright stage lights, that small act turned into a cinematic moment that viewers couldn't look away from. Fans quickly shared the video clip across social media platforms. Comments like "boyfriend material" and "this wasn't just random" flooded the internet. Though it lasted only seconds, that subtle yet emotional moment sparked waves of discussion and emotion, proving that sometimes, love doesn't need words, just a soft touch. His gaze, the unspoken language of the heart. After Wu Lei fixed Zhao Lusi's hair, the room fell into a brief silence. What gave viewers chills wasn't the gesture itself, but the look he gave her afterward. Wu Lei's eyes, deep, soft, and hesitant, seemed to convey a message meant only for her. It wasn't just professional courtesy, it was something tender, powerful, what people often call the language of the heart. Known for her cheerful expressions and lively demeanor, Zhao Lusi froze. No smile, no teasing remark, just a stunned look, as if she had been drawn into his gaze. In that moment, it felt as if the world around them blurred out, leaving only the two of them in their own little universe, where words were unnecessary and emotion spoke volumes. Observant netizens even noticed that after that gaze, Zhao Lusi subtly swallowed, a subconscious reaction when the heart races and emotions rise. One comment on Weibo summed it up best. "I don't know if they're really in love, but if that gaze was just acting, I truly applaud their skills. And if it was real, then I wish them happiness." Across Chinese social media, from Douyin to Zaya Huangchu, netizens began analyzing the gaze frame by frame, dissecting body language, expressions, and context. And one thing became clear: that gaze wasn't a coincidence. It was a signal, a subtle one, of something far deeper than a simple professional relationship. Clues from the past, piecing together the hidden puzzle. Fans began reviewing past appearances, interviews, and behind-the-scenes clips. They discovered countless small but telling interactions, pieces of a puzzle that had always been there, just waiting to be noticed. In a behind-the-scenes moment from a popular variety show, before the cameras officially rolled, Zhao Lusi was heard calling Wu Lei by an affectionate nickname, Zhao Leijia, Little Brother Lei. The tone was soft, casual, and intimate, not the kind of term typically used among distant colleagues. In another televised interview, Zhao Lusi nearly teared up when discussing the pressures of the industry and rumors about her personal life. At that very moment, Wu Lei, whose hand had been resting on his lap, suddenly reached over and gently touched the back of her hand under the table. Though brief, the gesture was captured by the camera, and his eyes, full of concern, were fixed solely on her. At joint press conferences, Wu Lei was frequently seen watching Zhao Lusi intently, especially when she was speaking or being asked tough questions. He would quietly adjust her mic or nod in silent support. These seemingly insignificant gestures, when viewed together, painted a much bigger story, one of silent devotion. Sometimes, love doesn't need grand displays. Just the smallest, repeated gestures can make people believe something truly special exists between two people. The quote that started speculation: "Who understands my silence?" In a recent TV interview, Wu Lei was asked about his ideal type or idea of a perfect relationship. His response was simple yet philosophical. "Sometimes, it's not about what we say, but about who understands our silence." At the time, the quote went viral as a deep, introspective caption. But after the now iconic hair-tucking moment in a string of sweet interactions, fans started to rethink, was he subtly referring to Zhao Lusi? Someone who didn't need words to understand what he felt, a rare emotional harmony between two hearts. Fans revisited their game show appearances, where Zhao Lusi was playful and quick-witted, while Wu Lei remained quiet and composed. Notably, when she teased or joked beyond the line, he never got upset, just smiled and let her be herself. This led many to believe their bond went beyond professional boundaries. One fan commented on Tiba, "Wu Lei is the reserved type, rarely showing emotion. But his gaze and his silence are always directed at Zhao Lusi." That quote, even though he didn't name her, everyone knows who it was meant for. Could it be that behind his words lay a heart quietly beating for someone who makes him feel seen without speaking? That girl who makes everyone laugh, and makes him quietly follow every step she takes. Opposite responses: she smiled, he stayed silent. After the viral moment made waves online, the media quickly pounced. At a public engagement following the event, both Zhao Lusi and Wu Lei appeared together. Unsurprisingly, journalists asked about the now famous hair-touching gesture and their seemingly intimate interactions. Zhao Lusi simply smiled and replied with a cryptic yet gentle statement: "Sometimes, people can be surprised. But that's not always a bad thing." Her answer felt sincere, not defensive, not evasive. It resembled a quiet confession wrapped in light words. In contrast, Wu Lei maintained his signature calm. He offered no media response, posted nothing on social media, and showed no reaction to the public buzz. And that silence, ironically, made people even more intrigued. In an industry where celebrities are quick to deny or clarify, his silence became a quiet yet powerful statement. Perhaps Wu Lei understood, the more you explain, the more you're dissected. But if you remain silent, the feelings might be more deeply felt. This raised further speculation: was his silence avoidance, or was he protecting something sacred, not ready to be shared with the world? PR stunt or genuine feelings? The never-ending debate. As the story of Zhao Lusi and Wu Lei spread, entertainment forums lit up with debates. Skeptics accused them of staging a media stunt, a calculated fake couple set up to boost hype for an upcoming project. They pointed out that affectionate gestures on stage are common in showbiz. However, longtime fans strongly disagreed. They argued Zhao Lusi isn't good at pretending, especially in unscripted emotional moments. Her expressions often change spontaneously, without filter, part of why fans find her genuine and lovable. The stunned look on her face after Wu Lei touched her hair, or her emotional reaction afterward, couldn't possibly have been premeditated. To those who believe in real love between two people, everything that's unfolded is a reflection of an authentic connection. These quiet, emotional moments are love confessions without words, far more touching than any scripted romance. Because real love doesn't need flowery speeches, just a quiet presence, a tender gaze, and a silence that speaks volumes. Body language, the undeniable truth. As the buzz continued, body language experts and behavioral psychologists weighed in. Analyzing slow-motion footage and micro-expressions, they drew intriguing conclusions. For instance, Wu Lei slightly tilted his head while looking at Zhao Lusi, an unconscious signal of genuine attention. His faint smile wasn't the type reserved for cameras, but one that hinted at quiet joy. Zhao Lusi also revealed signs of emotional conflict. Her eyes fluttered slightly before she instinctively moved back, as though realizing her true feelings had been caught and was trying to mask her vulnerability. These subtle reactions, though fleeting, pointed to one truth: something real and undeniable exists between them. Body language doesn't lie, and it's this truth that fans continue to believe in. Hidden romance? Truth or mutual agreement? Following the spread of their tender interactions, popular entertainment bloggers suggested a secret relationship might have long existed between the two. Due to their immense popularity, they might have made a mutual decision to keep things under wraps, to protect their reputations and careers. This theory isn't far-fetched. Many celebrity couples have hidden their relationships for years before going public. In an industry marked by intense scrutiny and busy schedules, loving silently is often the only way to preserve something pure. Fans expressed heartfelt support. If they truly love each other but choose silence out of respect for each other and us, I love them even more. Silence doesn't mean denial, it might simply be a quiet promise, waiting for the right time to bloom. Fans dig for the truth, the hunt for every clue. No one investigates better than fans. After the hair-touching clip went viral, hardcore fans combed through years of footage, behind-the-scenes clips, enjoyed appearances, examining every glance, every hand touch. Hashtags like Lucy Wu lovers, Wulei's gaze, quiet but deep, and real moments trended across Weibo, Douyin, and even Twitter. International fans subtitled the clips in English, Korean, Thai, Vietnamese, and more, garnering millions of views in just 24 hours. Their connection had clearly transcended borders, becoming a pan-Asian phenomenon. But this hunt for truth wasn't just nosy curiosity. It stemmed from a hopeful desire that amid a world of staged relationships, one quiet, sincere love story might be blooming. And for many, watching it unfold slowly, naturally, is the sweetest reward. Conclusion: perhaps this is the beginning of something new. There may be no official confirmation from either of them, no sweet posts, no leaked photos holding hands. But one thing is undeniable: that moment, that silent gaze, that stunned expression, has reached millions of hearts. In a world where most things feel curated and artificial, one spontaneous gesture, one genuine look can spark a real emotional storm. Not just because it's beautiful, but because it reminds us of something deeper, the raw, honest emotion that's becoming increasingly rare. Fans don't need a grand confession or flashy announcement. All they hope for is that, if something real does exist between Zhao Lusi and Wulei, it will be allowed to grow in its own way, quietly or openly. Because sometimes, the most memorable love stories are those nurtured in silence. And maybe, one day soon, we won't need to guess anymore, because they'll be the ones writing their love story openly, naturally, and happily.